bringing you the latest news from Liberty Athletics. This is the Patriot Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. We're still going to stick with volleyball. I'm going to run through the football schedule real quick, though, here before I forget. I'm going to get that out there so folks don't text me and bug me. Maybe we are. It's a website that I know. There we go. All right. No Thursday night games, which is weird, but that's fine with me. I get to be dad and husband for a Thursday night for a change. Friday night, Lubbock Cooper at Friendship, and the big one this week. That's HubCityPreps.com game of the week. That's at Tiger Stadium, 7 p.m. Friday. Coronado goes to Abilene Cooper, 7 p.m. at Shotwell Stadium. That's on 96.9 The Bull. I should say that Lubbock Cooper and Friendship is on both Double T 97.3 and right here on 100.7 The Score. Lubbock High's at San Angelo Lakeview. That's on a different network. Rob Rowe will have the call. Odessa High comes to town to take on Monterey at Lowry Field, 7 p.m. Friday on 93.7 The Eagle. Let's get down. Estacado's at Sweetwater at 7 p.m. That's on another network, too. That's with Nick Long, who you hear Saturday mornings on both 97.3 and 100.7, I believe. Liberty is at home against Seminole. That's a big one for your boys. They're going to get their first real test, I think. That's 7 p.m. at Patriot Stadium on 93.1 Young Country. Trinity Christian's on the road at Floydada. Lubbock Christian's at home against Wellington. I need to take that off the schedule. There's only one six-man game this week. That's Kingdom Prep at Abilene Christian. Christ the King's game got pulled out from under them. So that's the football schedule. But we're going to talk volleyball here because the number one team in the state in Class 4A is in Lubbock, Texas, and that's the Liberty Lady Patriots. And Katelyn, I've bugged you for 3 years. We've gotten to know each other well. When we met a few years ago, did you think that we would be sitting here in year 3 talking about your program being ranked number 1 in the state?
I wouldn't say I didn't think it, but it's a good group. Mm-hmm. It's a solid group. It was my goal, and I think it's been these girls. I don't know if it was hey, we want to be number 1, but it was, these girls work really hard and do what they do in practice, and they deserve every bit of it. But we're also proving it. And yep. I put that in the locker room. I think it's a big deal. I want the girls to see it, and so we have the picture of the TGCA rankings with us being number 1 on there. But at the top it says go show them, because at the end of the day, we can be number 1, but you got to prove it and you got to show it. And so I put that in the locker room for them to see every day. So
the Memorial Volleyball girls were just in here, and we talked about them being seniors for 3 years. Maddie, you guys have been seniors basically for 3 years. And yes, as Coach said, you guys have kind of pulled it all together. Why is this team so good? I know that's a wide open question, but why is this team so good?
I think it's honestly just the experience so far. I guess it never really set into me how good we were until we just went on a whole winning streak up until our championship game of Glen Rose. We've always been good, there's no doubt about it. But I think just now having the 3 years of varsity experience, we're finally reaching our peak. Maybe not in skill level, but maybe as a team, the team chemistry, the work ethic, the everything. It's meshing right now.
And Katelyn, I'll ask you the same question I asked Whitney just now, because she's at the other end. She's at the beginning stage.
Yeah.
You coach these girls different now than you did that first year? Or have you had to kind of evolve and tweak the way you coach them every day and then on game nights?
Yeah. I mean, I always say, if you're not trying to tweak things, you're not trying to do some different things, are you truly trying to get better as a coach? And so... yeah, I do coach them a little bit differently, but I'm just holding on to every moment that I have with these kids. Mm-hmm. When we played Memorial, which everybody knows, but I teared up a little bit because I got to see of how excited those kids were and how excited she was, and it brought back some memories, mm-hmm. And it made me remember them, and God, it goes by really fast. They, as a parent, they're always like, hey, your kid, it grows up real fast. And you're like, yeah, but man, it's gone by really fast, and so now I'm just really trying to hold on as much as I can with these girls. They've done a lot for me, and so I would say, I still have to push them every once in a while, but they push themselves. They hold each other accountable, and they're definitely different in a very, very good way this year.
I'll tell you the same thing I tell Joe Sexton all the time. It's been fascinating to watch freshmen and sophomores your girls weren't necessarily scrawny. It was more the boys, actually. Just to watch them become these little 14 to 15-year-old boys who were lost and didn't know what to do, and now they're these big. And your girls have become 17 and 18-year-olds, and it's so. Full disclosure, Maddie, I've got a high school senior of my own. Mm-hmm. I will not talk about her graduation because I'll turn out looking like Coach over there, because my daughter was supposed to stop at 7 years old and not get any older, and she broke that rule. So we're not talking about graduation for a long time yet. Yep. So, but it's been fun because she's been in high school as long as you guys have. So it's been fun to watch you guys as I've had my own daughter. And you guys were good from the beginning, but kind of loose in a good way, just played carefree. Now there's a purpose. Deep breath. There's a finish line coming. As it started to hit you, 17 and 18-year-olds think about things a little differently than 14 and 15-year-olds.
Yes, sir. It's definitely it's been in my mind since sophomore year. I think it's always been in all of ours, because after every year, it's like, oh, we have 3 more years, now 2 more years, and now it's your last year. So I truly think we have nothing to lose. We're going to go out and do everything to the best of our ability and just hopefully carry the team on our back as we go.
We're going to talk about maybe what you learned at the end of last year to come back with this year. I want to be very careful here. I introduced these 2 segments before is I think these are the 2 best teams in your districts, Memorial and Liberty. And that's no disrespect to anybody else, but you guys have to find ways to keep pushing each other in practice. And we're coming up on a break, but I know you went through that last year, and that's one thing I would imagine you had to think about new ways to do again this year, because you guys are even better. So 29-2. Who are the losses to? In El Paso?
Yeah, El Paso, Montwood, and Liberty Hill.
Okay. So those coaches always know the losses before the win. So we're coming up on a break. We'll be back in the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score right after this.
Diving headfirst into Liberty Athletics. You're listening to the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Patriot Fan Zone on a Monday night. I am Randy Rosetta. You're on 100.7 The Score, also on Fox News Now. I think I say that right, Brennan? Fox News Now?
Fox 34 News Now.
Okay, see, I almost had it right. I was close. We're talking about the number 1 ranked volleyball team in Class 4A in the state of Texas, which that's probably been pretty common when you talk about the 4A teams out here. You guys are carrying the banner now for a lot of really good teams that you happened to run the gauntlet through 2 weeks ago. Kind of took care of the Canyon schools, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, we did have them all back to back. Everybody was like, okay, y'all are done with the Canyon or Amarillo area. And I'm like, yeah.
Which, from coaching volleyball and playing volleyball, that's a big accomplishment. I don't know if your girls understand. They may later on that taking the place of those teams and being number 1 is a pretty impressive accomplishment.
Yeah, I think they know. I think they know what they did. So, yeah.
So I asked Maddie why this team is so good. You've had 3 years to you and Kendall Darden, and who else is your assistant coach?
Coach Stamel.
Okay. She's an assistant coach in everything. She's just does she ever go home?
Not really. And she's got kids that are playing everywhere too. Yeah.
So for 3 years now, this has been building. Why is this team so good now? And we'll stop there. We'll ask a second question after that. But why is this team so good right now?
I can go on and on about it. Their work ethic, number 1, I think they just know that they push each other, they hold each other accountable, they push me, that's always been very, consistent. But, I always been saying this for a little bit, we just started off very, very aggressive. And I just told them, like, as, you know, freshmen and sophomores, like, we're gonna hit and we're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna go for out of system balls. We're not sending free balls over, and we're not doing it. And they bought into it, and we made a lot of errors our first year. You showed them. I want to show them our spray chart that we have for our freshman and sophomore year compared to what our spray chart looks like now. And our freshman and sophomore year looked like a stoplight. I mean, it was just red. Everything was red on a lot of our out-of-system, you know, play. And now you look at it, and you can't even see the red anymore. And they're swinging just as aggressive, even more aggressive than what they were. But, you know, we just had to make those errors at the beginning. So now they go up, and an out-of-system ball is nothing to them. It's more like, sometimes we're better out of system than we are in system.
That's the sign of a good team.
Yeah. So it's just, it's all finally, like she said, it's all finally coming together. And not that it wasn't our first 2 years. I mean, we did very, very well. And but yeah, it's just all just finally coming together, and we're doing good.
Okay, Maddie. So remember, 2-time girl dad. So take this in the right way. You're bigger, stronger, and faster. That doesn't hurt.
Not at all.
And just what have you guys learned from the coaches starting from day one? Because at that point, you guys were practicing at Bush Middle School that summer, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So you guys got introduced. Some of you knew the coaches, but different setting. What's been the evolution for you guys year after year?
I think it's honestly just a sense of just maybe being more comfortable, if that makes more sense. Like, we have new girls every year on varsity, but I think, like, some of us that have been here for a while, we know how our play is supposed to go. We know her expectations. We know the rules we need to follow. And I think that's just, it helps, like, set the tone for the underclassmen coming in. And it just sets a good example for everyone. And just overall, we just develop a really good relationship over time, to the point where it's never like, say you make an error, she's never having to yell at you, like, to fix it. Like, you know what you did wrong already. Like, you just can look at her and tell her what you did wrong, and then she'll just tell you to go fix it. It's never like a back and forth, like, I don't know what's going on.
7 seniors?
7, yes.
And you mentioned new players coming on. That was a good segue. You jogged my memory. The new thing we're doing this year, each week, is the Fan Zone Boys and Girls Player of the Week. Fan Zone Girls Player of the Week is Lexi Allgood from Liberty in 2 matches. And when I get Liberty's statistics each week, I always have to temper it a little bit, because girls don't get to play as much because you guys are thumping people. Mm-hmm. But in 2 matches, Lexi had 17 kills and 15 digs. She's one of those new girls that's kind of emerged. I know sometimes it's not easy for seniors to kind of embrace a younger player, but sure seems like she's made it easy to embrace. Fair to say?
Definitely.
What has she brought to the table?
She's amazing. Like, there's no other way to describe it. She came on as a freshman on varsity last year, and she even told us she was scared. She was like, I would be more comfortable playing with all my friends right now. And we're like, but Lexi, you're here for a reason. Like, you are so good. You need to be on this team. And I think just giving her the varsity experience, of course, she didn't play as much as she did this year, she did last year, or sorry, switch that. But she has just overall grown and just gained her confidence this year. It's been amazing to watch.
Had a lot of girls who have been playing since they were sophomores to help her. We're coming up on the second break. We'll be back after that on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Liberty sports. This is the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the final segment of the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta. I don't even know if I ever introduced Maddie. It's Maddie Hyder. Now you know who's been talking, who's been saying all these really smart, well-thought things. And not that Katelyn hasn't. Katelyn always says.
Maddie's a pro.
Yeah, she is. So I'm looking at the standings. We've talked a little bit about this. I told you that, introduced this, and please, Estacado folks, Levelland, Big Spring, Snyder, Lakeview, don't get mad at me. To me, Memorial and Liberty are the clear-cut 2 best teams in that district, which poor Memorial just had to jump right into the deep end in district play number 1. And to their credit, they fought and scrapped, and it sounds like it was a pretty fun environment.
Yeah.
For you guys, too. Do you guys feed off of that now that you're kind of even more than ever the hunted?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of nice, like especially when there's a large crowd. Like I would assume you heard about the shallow water game. That was probably one of the
Heard about a few of those.
the biggest crowd like we've ever had, and we couldn't hear each other. And like some people were saying they were nervous, and then some of us were like, we just have to pretend they're cheering for us, and then we just go on with that.
It's the same thing that I remember a few years ago, your first home match. I can't remember who it was against, but I remember you and Kendall kind of having to tell them, go out there, stand there, okay, put your hand over your heart, they're going to play the national anthem, because that's all new. These guys, they're very used to that now. The other question, though, was going to be, now that they are so good, now that they are so experienced, what do you have to do now in a district that's not always going to be competitive every night? What do you have to do during the week, during practice, to make sure that they're staying as sharp as possible?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Maddie. We talked about it today, so I'm gonna let Maddie kind of talk about what we've been talking about in practice.
So in practice, we have been starting out, this has been kind of new. We'll start out almost with like a mini tutorial time, and that's just kind of to work on like different shots, different swings and everything that we can implement into our practice. But then getting into our practice, almost every single drill we have is a competition. We have like a little cauldron where we keep points, and your goal is to win. Like you want to compete. And so every drill, like the goal is to either compete against yourself or to compete against your teammates. And then like later on in the practice, that's when we move on into our 6-on-6 drills. We just had one today, and it's all just about the competition, the fight, the effort, the want. Like it's all just there, and you have to pretend like at the end of the day, like, yes, that's your team, but when you're in that drill, that's not your team, that's your opponent. And you're doing everything in your power you can to just win that drill.
There's no blood, though. I mean,
No, sir.
See, I'm an old dude. When I played high school football, if we were playing somebody that we knew wasn't very good, they had something called the Oklahoma drill. Ask your dad what the Oklahoma drill was. It was nasty, and if you didn't go home bloody, you weren't doing it right. So coming from Lubbock Cooper, where you guys, it was a little bit different when you were in your district, because you guys were the hunted, but there was more teams to challenge you, and you faced Monterey, Coronado, all those teams. Did you go to another coach and kind of 2 years ago or last year, whenever it was, and kind of figure out ways to do things differently when you knew it was going to, because the first year you're in the district with shallow waters, you had...
Yeah, I sat down with Jason Culpepper, Bushland coach, because he's very well known, number one. Number two, like they don't get pushed very much in their district, and I think they're going on like 90-0, which is our goal to do that too. So and you know, I just how do you do it? Like how do you? And he goes, it's practice. The girls and he goes, and it takes time, and it's gonna take longer than your 3 years that you're gonna have these kids, but they just have to train their mind to know that their best competition is the one that's facing them at practice. And I told the girls today, I said, you know, like, just because we're split, a net is in between us, we're still, and I said, this is still the number one team. So the number one team is going to give you the best that you can give. And I was like, but at the same time, you're the number one team too, and y'all are both competing with each other. But y'all, like, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. It's hard for us to stay like that, because at the end of the day, like, the fun part is the games. And, you know, it's hard to kind of mentally prepare that our toughest opponent is in practice, and it's tough.
I mentioned that I take your stats with a grain of salt when I'm going through them. And I also thought that, did you try to get more maybe younger girls in to varsity matches, because you're going to have to play them pretty quick after this season? Is that kind of part of the process as well?
Yeah, it's, you know, we have a really big team this year, and it's, you know, we've had the OGs is what we call them. We've had them completely have to play this entire time, and now I just have these girls who are supposed to step up and do something. And so yeah, we're playing the younger girls, and everybody's kind of getting their time to step up and do some things and play. So.
But you have to keep the OGs fresh. You have to keep them, and you also have to keep them healthy. So you're doing a good juggling act. That's going to wrap us up on a Monday night in the Patriot Fan Zone. Come back and talk to us tomorrow when we jump in with Monterey and Coronado on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.